Yeah, so thank you very much, Lyno and Lina, for taking a time for us.
Both Lee, so Lyno and Lina.
Okay, yes. And we are, no, as I think you already know, but we are Load Na Dito. So we are initiative based in Manila. And we are conducting this online research that is actually funded by Koganecho Bazaar in Japan. And maybe Mayumi can talk about the project.
So just to give you a brief idea about this interview, it's actually Load Na Dito's research project. And it's a way for us to interview some initiatives in Southeast Asia and also in Japan. And also, it's a way for us to understand how the ecology of art or the ecosystem of art works. That's why we wanted to interview several people from one initiative, because initiative is a collective effort, you know. So we also wanted to hear different stories around one initiative as a way for us to understand how these relationships can work within your own institution or initiative, but also how that can connect to a wider ecosystem of the arts. So yeah, so thank you very much for your time, and we really appreciate and we are very thankful to have this opportunity to interview Sasa.
Yes, sure. It's our pleasure. And again, we already planned like there will be three of us, because like me as part of the co-founding members, and then Dara because as someone who was a student and then later became a team member with us, and then Lina, you know, who also joined us from the context that we started working at the Y building. So that's was our plan. But so because this was urgent, so Dara could not join us. So I'm a little bit sad he could not join us.
It's okay, because we'll have another round for discussions in November with other initiatives. So I hope Dara can also make it to that session.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. So maybe we can start the interview or the background information, because we will publish this interview for the public. So first, we would like to invite you to introduce yourself to us by sharing, just casually introducing yourself. How did you get involved in Sasa, and what are your roles in the initiative?
Okay, I can go first, and then Lina can add. My name is Vuth Lyno. I am a visual artist. I also curate and run programs, and together with my collective Still Salapa, we co-founded Sasa Art Projects in 2010. I've been a member of the team, and also help in terms of direction and programming, and also thinking about funding as well. And that's basically that's my role.
Lina?
My name is Nina, and I working at Sasa Art Project as a public program coordinator. So for me, I met the Sasa team at the White Building, something around 2014-15. At that time, I was working at another NGO who provide free English class, computer class, something like that, and community study to the resident at the White Building, especially the youth, the kids. And during that time, I have known Sasa Art Project space first of they have when Sasa Art have the event that invite the student from my NGO school to join and visit the studio opening studio event. And first I was very curious what were the artists doing, and I quite very interesting on how the the artist research or the presentation that they display in the event. And later on, we have met for a lot of time with the with the collective, Sasa collective, the team, and then I start to get more interested and involved with Sasa. Finally, 2015 or 16, I joined Sasa Art Project part-time while working for another NGO too. And later on, become work for only Sasa and freelance, become freelancer until now. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. And it's nice that you kind of have different time that you work with Sasa. And we are interested now on what's the story behind this Sasa. As I remember, or I know that it started as a collective, as a photography collective with the same as with your generation Lyno, and then we're interested on how this develops into space and maybe us now.
Yeah. So so the collective, the name of the collective is still Salapa, which means still is youngster. Salapa is art. So so that's the name of our original collective members. At that time, there were 6 people, including myself. And the idea of being a collective was to stick together. You know, it's like very simple, just like stick together to continue our practice. We all met through a photography training, but it's quite a mixed group of visual art trained people, and also, you know, like me, I wasn't trained in art before. I came from a nonprofit and communications. So anyway, so the idea for Still Salapak was to continue our practice, to stick together, and also to help think together how can we work in the contemporary art, you know, and in what way we can connect art with ourselves, but also with the community and society, you know, in Cambodia. And so, you know, we started very something simple and practical. We just like gathered, went to do photo shoots at a certain location, came back, do review of the photos, have a discussion, something like that. While each of us had individual interests, you know, continue to do projects and so on. But then at one point was like, you know, we should do something, you know, as a collective, what kind of things that we wanted to do. So an opportunity came actually at that time. There was a restaurant on street, I forgot the street number, oh gosh, in Bang King Kong area. Was that 360, Lina, or 310? Bai Tong restaurant, 360, okay. Bai Tang restaurant, and so they had this like small space on the side of the restaurant, and they wanted to do something interesting, you know, a place where people can gather, a community can be built, a critical conversation can be made. And so they offered this like side space, glass, a room on the side of the restaurant as a gallery. So then we started Sasa Art Gallery. That was before the art projects. So we started Sasa Art Gallery, and we presented artworks by first from our collectives, and then later on by other young artists from Phnom Penh and Battambang. So the idea is, you know, to have a space where we can showcase works that we would like to share, you know. As an artist one space, considered that time most or many of the art spaces were foreign cultural institutes, foreign owned galleries. So that was the idea of, okay, maybe we want to have something by ourselves. And for a certain time, it was sort of like came to the point where you know, running an art gallery was not our expertise. And we were all, you know, artists, and you know, we don't know how to get more money to keep running shows, right? So it started with like our own money, some sponsors here and there, but until one point it's like, you know, like we were not certain that this is something that that is our strength. So basically, and so we had a discussion what we wanted to do, and then education came first and foremost. That in order, you know, for the art to thrive, is we need to engage with a younger generation, while they build the understanding about art, to learn about art, while also exposing that to the public, you know. And so we started our art class by two other collective members that times, Khoi Samnang and Kung Valet. So they started art class inside that small gallery space every weekend with these like young high school students from different high schools in town. There were about a dozen of students at that time. And then it was running for quite some time until you know, we got to introduce to the white building by one of our collective members that time, Wandi Ratana, and he raised this idea, and we all visited the white building, and we starting to learn more and more about the significance of this place, this community, its history. So finally, we decided to move, and we closed Salsa Art project, and then we continue at the Sasa. So we closed Sasa Art Gallery, and then we continue to the Sasa Art projects in the white building, where we continue the art class, while also explore other things to do. Basically, how can we do art? How we can practice art in this context of the white building, which was a former 1960s modernist housing block, and became a very dense neighborhood of generations of artists, and mostly low to, you know, mid-income, you know, Cambodian people, as well as like migrants from the countryside. And so it's very rich neighborhood. So yeah, that's what we were exploring over the 7 years from 2010 to 2017, in terms of the form of art and the form of art engagement, and how that can, or what that means in our society, basically. And of course, in particular, in the context of the white building, you know, when you have this audience, when you have this community of artists and everyday people like this, you know, so it's a learning ground for us.
It's nice to hear about you are grounded in the, or engaged with the immediate community that you're engaged with. So I want to also hear about Lina because you are also not in the formation of the, but in the middle of that. So we are interested on how you become involved with it, like how you see, as you mentioned, you become first a kind of volunteer or working with, and then how this working relationship with artists. And you said you are not really has a background in art, and we are interested on how these dynamics develop throughout the years.
Yeah, for me, I think for one thing for sure is something that Sasa Art Project vision and my vision is somehow matching together. I always feel like what Sasa do, the activity, the project is very interesting and helping the community. For example, so I'm in
What did you understand about Salsa vision? What did you understand at that time?
At that time, it was like, first of all, the art engagement, that art can be like everything can be art. And the understanding is like art is not highly mildly stuff, but anything that people can enjoy and anything that people made out of nothing. That's very incredible for me. But also another reason, for example, I also work with the community about the land rights and human rights. And at that time, the artists also show similar. I mean, artists use another form, create the artwork, but also talk about things, advocate the human rights, advocate the community rights, and how to engage people together. Like during that time, it was Bangkok Lek, where the people got evicted, that the company filled the lake by the sand, and those people didn't agree with the price that the company gave, so they do protest at the and then got into the jail, something like that. But at the same time, Samnang and some other artists also talk about this issue, the eviction, the problematic of this development, and very creative way, powerful to make people know this story and make an awareness. So for me, at that time, I was like, I wanted to join this event. I want to learn from this artist. What kind of way I can make to meet with my community practice to develop or to share this to the resident or to advocator, to see that you need to be creative to say what you want to say and to get what you really want, not only doing the protest that can be one thing that you can do. So that time I kind of like, okay, sneak in Sasa art to learn all this creative and then go back to the community to bring that up. What can we do for this thing? And that one, just for example, but like I mentioned, the vision that we wanted to bring people to create interesting things, people that can be like the art that can be enjoyed by everyone. I think in that discussion with the during that time, I felt like for me it's not a critic, but it's like awareness for me to, oh, I don't know about this before. If I'm not going to this event or this artwork by this artist, I don't know anything about it. So that interests me a lot.
But also, Lina, you were also joining our first, I think you joined our video classes, you know, like with Martin, yeah, with Smile, with Martin, and also you joined this video workshop with us, and you also like, you know, produce like short videos and things. So how that affect your insights about Sasa or the decision as well to join us, whether it affected or not?
One thing for sure, study during that time. I mean, I'm still no talent in this video making, but I love to study. I love to study music, and with the group of students, we create something like we have the topic that we wanted to do documentary about the resident at the White Building, right? So I'm kind of like, oh, I know this person, I know how to talk to them, or okay, I don't know how to do sound, but okay, in this class I learned how to do it. So it's very fun time that we start to do something that we don't know how to do before.
Mm.
Hmm? Yeah, Long.
Thank you. I'm also a bit curious about the early workshops and the art classes. Were they mostly like video and photography and classes? And if it is, could you tell us a little bit about what was the pedagogy that you applied?
So so the art classes, it started with very straightforward, sort of like a drawing class. No, it started with that, sort of like drawing objects, and learn observation and drawing from your what you see, applying and basically connecting your visual and your hands, right? And then it sort of like evolved to include, yes, the media workshops, photos, videos, utilizing our skills, what we know, and then we bring in partners and collaborators to do, in particular for video workshops, for example. It's not our expertise. However, it's one approach, one pedagogy that was when it started. It's based on basically because some of our team member, they study at the Royal University of Fine Arts. So they use the method that they were taught at the university, So it's again a traditional, straightforward. But as the program progressed, each one try to find ways to teach to the young people. Some are based on projects like outcome oriented. So like we have a goal, for example, a renovation of a wall behind a school. So the drawing or the workshop class is part of a project that will affect the outlook or the some aspect in the neighborhood itself. So they learn drawing, and then we collaborate with the community and clean up the area, and then they painted the wall with their vision about the neighborhood, for example. And other classes are geared toward developing their own artistic projects, sort of like open-ended approach. And it's pretty makeshift. It started pretty makeshift because like we all artists, we teach what we know and try to share and bring in other guests, speakers to come and share with the students. However, as this progress, as you can imagine, like actually, for example, when they started, these are like high school students, and then later they became like grown up adult and so on and so on. So they finished different classes and workshop with us. So we had to come up with a new program to keep going, to advance, keep going. The program keep becoming more advanced. And so finally, our latest sort of like most advanced program are combining and thinking a lot more about not just like making artwork, but building important knowledge, interdisciplinary knowledge. And most importantly, once we discuss in our team, what is important is that if we teach people only about art, making art, what if they cannot become artists? What if they cannot be making art? What if they cannot, practice as an artist? Sort of like this is a skill that's not really helpful. So what we realized, and then we have this parallel program. On the one hand is like, okay, art making, learning about art world and so on and so forth. But on the other hand, this parallel program is basically introducing interdisciplinary knowledge. We have like sessions on geography, we have sessions on art history, we have sessions on anthropology, we have different sessions. So to build sort of more critical awareness, because it's not just about art education. It's not just about art education that we want to fill in, that gap. But it's about education at large, the education system here in Cambodia that are not sort of like, not it's not common to engage in a critical conversations and that kind of sharpening the mind of the people. The system itself, it doesn't have the what do you call it, the tools or curriculum to shape the students to think that way. So what we want to apply in our art classes is that building the and sharpening that critical eyes and thoughts of the students. So, and we believe that this will help deepen their art projects. And as well, if they cannot be artists, it doesn't matter, because this skill, this knowledge, is something that is carried with them. Whatever they do, it will deepen whatever they do, basically. So that is our sort of like latest sort of formula. And we have 3 different kind of classes over the last 3 years, 3 main types. One is mixed media, another one is photography based, and another one is English for artists. So sort of trying to the third one was like, okay, we realized that for the artists to succeed, they need to be able to connect with the larger art world, and therefore English is critical for them, to access a lot of materials, to access a lot of knowledge, but also to participate and engage in the international platforms.
Thank you. That's just very fascinating to hear. Lina, do you also teach the courses at Sasa?
Actually, no, I'm the facilitator, can I say that? Like assist the teachers making curriculum or follow up with attendance or discuss with the student idea that they wanted to produce, things like that, like accommodating how the student can be successful, and the teacher can be like doing the class, stuff like that. And
Lina is doing a very important job and also very challenging job, because she's in the middle, trying to understand from the perspective of the students, but also trying to how can we achieve our goal, from Sasa. And try to come up with creative ways. How can we make the student more excited in our program? And so, yeah.
So your students are mainly high school students still?
Before, no, it before. But now more and more students are university level. They join us, and also young professional already like working from different disciplines. No, Lina?
yeah,
we have quite a mixed people. Can you give some example?
like we have university from fine art school, architect, even music, the original singer, or even in law, business,
economics, IT.
Yeah, max.
We have so far we have one monk as well. Joining us. Yeah, it's very interesting. To have that sort of dynamic.
Yeah, it's interesting because we met some of the artists like Sikaleng and the others who were part of your program, and they said I graduated from Sasa. So it's interesting to hear that kind of like, oh, Sasa is a school or something. So I think we can connect it to the next question. As Sasa, how do you position your initiative or space collective in the local art scene, and also in the larger art world? Maybe Southeast Asia and then the Asia, and can you reflect on that scene where you are part of?
Maybe I can say more from the local art scene, because what we do is actually what we think matters for the local community in Cambodia, or at least that's our interest or premise. Yeah, so we continually reflect like all the time about what do we do, what do we want to do, and it's always a reflection to what's already there and what is not, and what we think that is missing in order to push the field of the contemporary art, you know, further. By saying field, I mean artists, audience understanding and appreciation about contemporary art, you know, the public, the supporters and families and so on. And what we notice is, and it's clear because most of the art spaces in Phnom Penh are gallery spaces. Basically, they present exhibitions. No? And only very few of those that do programming alongside to support those exhibition or other things. So one thing we know is like, you know, exhibition alone it's not enough. So and also from the nature of our team as well, we're interested in experimental form. So therefore, what is special about Salsa is our education program and residency program. And also when we have the resources and opportunity and the right energy and things, we also do some special collaboration with others as well. So why I said like art classes and residency are special. Maybe it's not so special, but what I mean is like it's important in the local context of Cambodia. As I mentioned before, the art classes is a response to the, you know, what is being offered, you know, at the art institution. There's only one state art university in Cambodia, which is the Royal University of Phnom Penh. There's a big art school, non-profit art school in the north, in Battambang. So these are the two main institutions that produce artists every year. Whereas, of course, others are self-taught, you know, artists or those who are trained in different disciplines, but sort of somehow self-taught themselves in making artworks. But what we want to feel the most important gap is that critical and important knowledge and critical awareness of oneself in relationship to the world around them, expanding their worldview about what's around them, and that's is something that we think is I can use the word special for now for the lack of a better term, and that what we feel special because it's something that we can utilize, what we can share as artists who you know, came through certain kind of experience and what kind of things that we've seen. So we share that to our peers. And for the residency program, it still is the only ongoing residency program in the country. Some other spaces might host one residency here and there, you know, when they have the resource to do so, and means to do so. But we decided that we wanted to commit to this because it is through this residency that we are able to engage with our artists, colleagues and friends in Southeast Asia. So the residency is positioned itself as mostly for artists from Southeast Asia, because we know that it's more likely to do so. It's the sustainable probability of it, because it doesn't cost a lot to commute, you know, proximity, for example, between Phnom Penh and Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon, it takes only $10 US to commute by bus. So it's so like, wow, okay, just hop in, you know, and then once you get here, you have a place to stay, and then, you know, you meet people, you can do your research and try the project, and we talk and we share. So it's something like that we thought it could be, yeah, it's likely to be sustained compared to maybe, you know, it costs thousands of dollars for an artist from Europe to fly to here, and this doesn't seem to make sense for us. It's like we should learn more from our neighbors, you know, and we don't know much. We assume that we know, but we don't. And that, I think, perhaps hope to, you know, continue these like organic networking and relationships. And it did, you know, for example, some artists who came to do residency with us also, you know, introduce residency program that they either run or they know of and whatnot, you know, making recommendation and so on, and bring some the Cambodian artists back to do residency the other way too. So I think that is something, yeah, really good. And because another thing is important is Cambodian art community is really small. It's really small. So therefore, we cannot just learn by listening to ourselves. We need to listen to others. So therefore, yeah, an opportunity to engage and exchange, and especially with our immediate neighbors, neighboring countries is, yeah, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of our public program like artist talk for the residency or the exhibition, we we invite people from Southeast Asia to share their research or their curatorial project, or even the artists to do a talk for their work. So the perspective of sharing this knowledge is like connecting not like the artists from Southeast Asia, and this is also what I think our students continue to study to work on their art project, because they get to know things that interest them and continue to find their own like artist practice, artist language, sort of.
Yeah, Lina, because I know at the time we were talking about, we were so busy because there's a lot of public program, and at one point when then I calculated, and the average was that it's 2 public events per month. So you imagine, like every 2 weeks we have something. So that is actually quite a lot and often for such a small art space.
Yeah, compared to our team, little team.
Great, thank you. So we have next question, which is, how does the initiative help the arts to function? But I think you guys already mentioned somehow about this question, and it's very thrilling to hear Lyno talking about arts can help us become more critical and, you know, find a perception to understand how the world around us work. So I think that's a very beautiful articulation to this question. But if there are any other things you would like to add in response to a question like this, like maybe the question of audience or participations, collaborations, if you have anything to
I think
share.
Lina has something to share about this, you know. What do you think, or you believe, you know, what can art do in this our context here?
I think here what I was thinking, that through our education class and the public program, I think it make the artists, I mean the next generation of artists, to rethinking the value, or to reflect on the society more than, I mean, the artists have individual project which is somehow can be from themselves, the experience, but also the society that they see every day. So this reflection and giving the value sharing can be something that have to functioning in the art scene, but also I think because we mentioned our art class is quite unique because there isn't any other art space or collective who do that. So our pedagogy now quite unique to fill the gap that lacking here in Cambodia. I think this is a special part that I would say have to functioning the ecosystem in art as well.
Yeah, I think what I wanted to say. I think what we see, you know, what we are doing is that through art we can be a better person. If that is too romantic, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just through art we learn and we grow and we become a better person. And at the same time, it's like, you know, that we understand better of the world around us, and hopefully we, you know, we want to contribute and to our society. And I remember like a statement that we have, Lina, when we did this vision exercise of Sasa. What do we want to see? You know, what do we want to see as like a final dream? And you know what Sasa do, our initiative, right? And then we got to this like very complex sentence, like we want to see Cambodian a society of like healthy, resilient communities where people can make decisions for themselves, and through you know, and also like participate in this sort of creative and art conversation and exchange, something like that, no?
Yeah, like
I don't remember the exact word myself.
to like determination of their present and future, like the artists. Like
Yeah,
we have a very big vision.
yeah. But I think this is also like, from me, that it's the way I see it. Not this is we designed together as a team. We came up together, but it just from my interpretation or how I understood it, why it's there, why it's important, because of the political context here, social and educational context here. It is ultimately so important that people can make decisions and inform and critical decisions, you know, for themselves and for their society, so that we are not living in a society of just following what is being told. Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Maybe we should also do the vision exercise.
Yeah,
maybe that will help us. Maybe you can help us facilitate how to do it.
It's gonna be messy, yeah, but we can try.
So the next question is, because also maybe thinking about it, like because of your many stories, you have so many programs. So I think maybe on some occasion it can be very tiring. So maybe what have been your like keys or secrets to keep on continuing even though you are tired, or maybe no funding, or even now like Dara got COVID, but still he's trying to work.
Yeah, he loved working.
Yeah, to keep things sustained, to keep running things, it's not easy, you know, like to keep things running. I think, of course, you all know so well too, having done, you know, different initiatives before what you do now. but I guess is the thing is, I don't know how, but this is personal. No, I think each of us have personal perceptions. Lina might have, I'm sure Lina has a different perception too. But just for me, I feel like, there is an opportunity to do things, and there's a big gap. You know, there's a big gap, and then I also realized that then what you do really matters. In Cambodia, because we have little resources and we don't have quite a, would say, an ecosystem or art ecosystem. I don't know whether we have one, but it's an organic landscape. We certainly are not very, resourceful compared to many other places, perhaps. But I believe that even very little small thing we do, it matters. So therefore, if we don't do something, I feel like it's a loss of opportunity, and I feel somehow responsible, responsible for the fact that I was starting making artwork, became an artist or whatever artist, and then had the opportunity and in the global art world and tap on resources and sort of thing. So if we are not sharing that, to your own community, I think it's I don't feel comfortable. I think it's how can we strive together as a community, and another aspect on practical aspect about when of course you got tired, working as a collective, it's not easy, always disagreement, we don't have consensus, and personal character, personalities, and all different sort of things. But I think it just we need to remember the big picture, try to remind ourselves the big picture that we want to achieve. And I always use the student stories as my motivation. I need to remind myself that, okay, when the student who got out from our program, what do they do now, what they are at, how they found themselves, and so those are like stories to motivate myself to keep going.
Wow. Lina, you want to add?
Yes, we want to know your perspective.
Already? I think for me, Sasa in touch a lot about friendship, that we have a very good friendship, even though people with many personality and behavior, but we, first of all, like Lyno mentioned, the big picture that we want to achieve, the first point that we've been meeting with each other since the beginning. And but also being honest and teamwork would really help the team a lot. Like we always share things together. Okay, this is the opportunity. I think this is good for you, or you lack or something, and then that another team help you with something that you don't know or don't understand. And one more thing is like we always have this creating an occasion, like fun occasion with each other, that we always remember, we join everyone's specialty or things like that. I think this relationship make us stay stronger together as a whole. And because we also does this project together a lot, this give us a reflection of the result that would satisfy us. Things like that.
Just for example, for the last 3 years, me, Samna, and Lina, we teach in our respective classes. And so like Lina and Samna, like they're so tired. They just want to take a break, but they feel like pressure. We need to keep running classes one every year, this sort of thing. So that also like, to be realistic as well. Like, after all, we are humans. We have our need in other things, and we are individually practicing artists. We want to fulfill our artistic ambition as well. So it's about being honest about, okay, yeah, we need to take a break. So yeah, this year we decided to take a break from art classes.
Wow.
In order
Sorry to disturb your break.
To to recharge, maybe and then that way maybe it can help us to gain new perspective,
Sure.
Yeah, it's interesting because earlier Lyno mentioned about public, the supporter, and family, and Lina talked about friendship. So we're interested how this is maybe part of how you work together, but also it's maybe separated. I don't know. Maybe can you talk about this? How can you divide friendship with your professional, with the public, with the supporter, or is it part of everything? Something like that.
I think it's hard to separate. I think as artists, I think we'd like to melt everything together, which is not always good, but so as a team, we are both friends and colleagues, and there are times that are really tensions. There are times that are really it's really difficult, but I think it's just like we need to remind each other to, okay, let's be honest and share our thoughts and emotions. So there's like we have emotional confessions and so on, to rebuild the trust and relationship again. And it seems like once in a long while we do this. When it becomes too tension, okay, there's something, okay, let's talk about it. And that, and in terms of with the supporters, and actually many of the supporters are our friends. Friends, not okay, there are certain kind of friends, but it's still like as friendships, it's not just okay, that's someone we can just like talk to and have a drink over and talk frankly, openly about that. I think so that kind of different kind of friendships, and I don't know what else to say actually. I was like, oh, what is it?
Yeah, I think in terms of supporter, for what I see is that most of our supporters they see what that we do really important. Our activity is very important. That's why they keep supporting us. But we have all sort of support, like emotional people support, or funding, or academic, or even knowledge sharing. I think these things are all important in our collective. I think sorry.
No, I'm saying like I think it's quite common because like for example, most of the artists that came through our residency program are still our long-term friends. So these are something I see it's the strength, because these friendships actually allow that connections to last longer. And then there's always like a revision of that relationship that manifests in professional a form, either projects or collaborations and so on. So at least I would say something, right? You want to work, for me, it's like, being good artist is not enough for me. It's, okay, it's great, but I think I don't want to work with good artists but who are assholes, such a terrible people. It's like, why do I bother? Just like, so like, okay, you have to be good people too. So therefore, of course, being good people, you want to be friends with naturally. So
share the energy. You
Mm.
Yeah.
know? So maybe you want to ask the last question. I pass the energy to Mayumi.
Okay. Thank you for your energy.
Mm.
So yes, so maybe we can ask you the last question. How do you imagine the future of your initiative?
Lina wants to say something. You just said about this today.
Mm,
No.
I knew it.
tell us, please.
I think first I think we need to think out our program to be sustainable in a way to continue. That would be our future, very like immediate future. We need
Our
to do
funding for
something.
next year, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Mm.
So and that we also after 10 years we also think that what else can we do what else can we do, what else can be more even more creative, things like that. And we still think to do our program, which is the current program, to continue on, but to also imagine, is that enough to fulfill our vision, or what else should we add more to fulfill our vision? The resilient artist, the someone who critical thinking, yeah, things like that. I mean, we have a very, I think maybe we have a very long journey, but step by step, I think every day is it's also our future. Like what our doing activity is continue us to like the energy, but also maybe one thing for sure, like this is what I like about Salsa too, like we wanted to be something special, but we wanted to be really humble. Like we do things not to just to people to interest, but what it interests us.
I guess also another things that we were thinking about is like to think about sustainability in an expanded term. It's not about to sustain Sasa and what we do, but it's to sustain the development of contemporary art in Cambodia at large. So to think beyond our team and institution itself, and to think about what sort of legacy we build and allow others to build on. To think about how can we engage and support new energies and new other initiatives by our peers and new generation as well, so that everything is not relying on Sasa, that it should be more diverse ecosystem. There should be more spaces, there should be more art collective, and there should be more, initiatives basically. So, and yeah, we try to think that way as well. And hopefully if Sasa close one day, and the world still continue, and a Cambodian art community still can continue to thrive. Yeah.
Well, I think it's nice that you mentioned that. Maybe I will add one more question, if it's okay. It's because you mentioned about that, and you're thinking about the art when Sasa may be closed, and there will be another generation who can continue. And do you think in the last 10 years, from your students or collaborator, some of them initiate their own? Like it can be a small one or big one.
Yeah, certainly. So at least among the artists that engage with us, now formed 2 collectives. So there's one homeless collective by 3 young artists, and another one is Decent Jot, So okay, homeless collective is like all boy, 3 boys, and then Tisam all 4 girls. So there's like, you know, there's like a boy band and there's a girl band. Yeah, and while you know, this, I think it's a something positive that we think is important, and I think that we think should be fostered. Even though, you know, these collective are still young and still defining what they want to do together, they want to achieve together. While they each actually has their own individual practice, you know, we don't have like a art collective, like say like, okay, they co-author, you know, a work together. We haven't seen that yet, yeah, here. So that's encouraging, you know, it's positive. And anything else, Lina, is there any other initiatives from people that we have engaged with?
I mean, even though there is no really form themselves as a collective or group, things like that, but the student they grow to be independent artists. So that's also, I think, also part of the artists or the generation of artists that can be continue on with let's say example of Salsa art project activity and program.
Nice, nice. How about because Sasa also works a lot with curatorial and exhibition making. As you, Lina, is part of that. Are there like new generation or your generation that you work with in Sasa is you see a potential or work or have their own direction also?
I want to hear from Lina first.
Yeah, in certain opportunity, I think not only our student artists, but the artists in community also learn and do the exhibition or start to learn about curatorial things like that. But in terms of they expand their knowledge or to be really critical on, like for example, like exhibition have a curatorial text that more interesting and emphasize. I think they still have some limitation, but you can see that other artists have now learned to form. I mean, they can create the exhibition by themselves. They apply for exhibition, or they even manage to have their own, let's say, street art festival where they invite other artists like their peers to join in the festival.
Yeah, on one level, is first is among the team, Sasa team. Sna and Lina are sort of like getting on the curatorial work as well. So what we do here is, so one exhibition, I do the curatorial support, and another exhibition we take turn. That's Sna and Lina are being in charge. So we are in charge of one show and then take a break, be supporting, and then another one will be leading. So something like that. As a way to build that skills, and also with the artists that we work with, especially for the solo exhibition, we tend to work collaboratively, you know, with the artists in terms of the curatorial direction, suggestions, ideas, and yeah, the decision and the design of the exhibition. It's a collaborative process, you know. artists are part of it and need to make their own decision as well. And we hope that is something will be useful for them in the longer term. If they can curate by themselves, have a good, sort of curatorial vision about how their work should be presented and should be communicated, I think that is something that we want to see. I think our goal that we hope to see is like each person can be more and more independent and do not rely on Sasa everything. That is our goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also, I'm just trying to imagine what the curatorial practice can be like in context of Sasa, because it's not just about exhibition making, right? That's what Sasa teaches. So I think the curatorial practice is quite also expanded, like it involves these communications and making exhibitions, but I'm sure somehow artists and curators are trying to imagine what goes beyond. And also working toward the social advocacy.
Yeah, actually, exactly. I haven't talked of any of these aspects outside of exhibition making, but yeah, we do other projects, and so for example, in 2019, we did this festival called Kourn. So it's an art and urban festival that took place over 13 venues, no, 18 venues. Was that 18 or 13? I'm confused, either one. Across the cities. So a very interdisciplinary festival with art and architecture, urban film festival, history, archives, and and that one was something that I co-curate that with our colleague Pan Saraypanya, and through the support from Salsa team, and we did this, and I thought it's something that we learn, through our experience from the white building, ways to engage with communities, with the public, and yeah, we finally did that festival, and all the venues, most of them are not art venues. Almost entirely are not art venues. So they are inside a community school in a Buddhist temple. They are alley lane, on the street side. There are shop houses that are turned into an exhibition space. There's a pop-up space on the river, along the river bank, for example. So thinking about how can we, basically in the context of Cambodia, doing art outside of the gallery space. Yeah, just one is like we don't have many, but also two is not so interesting. And try to think about the tradition, to think about the culture, try to think about the context here, and the resource that we can share. Think about shared resources, and this, most of these places, people, they just offer those space for us to use for free for the festival period, forming into some sort of like, a generosity and offer from community and different pockets of the city. And we, at that time, me and Panya, we decided that we don't want to go through the city, like, we don't want like have to ask permission from the city hall to use this space and that space, because our belief is that the space belongs to people. Why we have to ask the city, So try to find ways to work around that sort of administrative and political power to work directly with different community and different places, and to allow a different kind of interactions, because those places and community, majority of them, they never seen contemporary art before. So to bring that art to close to them, we thought it could be something interesting.
Wow. Think on that note, because you mentioned generosity, we would like to thank your generous knowledge you have shared to us. And we are very happy to have a short, not short, 1.5 hours of conversation with you. So thank you very much, Lyno and Lina. And I think Mayumi will have some reminders, because this is just the first of the
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much again. We would like to really thank for, as Mark said, generosity in sharing your experience and also wisdom. We learned a lot. And there are so many important aspects of practice that you guys mentioned. So we will, as Lord Nadito, we will organize what we discussed today, and we want to bring it to our roundtable discussions. And the organizer, Koganecho, is trying to organize the roundtable on November 25, that's Thursday, in the evening. So they're thinking to start at 7 p.m. in Japan, which will be 5 p.m. in Cambodia. How are your schedules?
25th.
25th, Thursday.
November.
November.
Yeah, 25th November, Thursday from 5 p.m., right?
Yes.
I have one workshop from 3 to 5, so it's perfect for me.
Oh, thank you.
No time to break.
But we make sure that this time Dara can join us, because he offers from a very another interesting perspective, because he joined Sasa from the very beginning as a very little student. Little student, and went through different kind of art classes, and then became interested, and now he is part of our team, coordinating a residency program and some projects. So he has from a perspective of a student.
So he is a Sasa baby, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Okay,
And princess.
So again, thank you very much for your time, and
thank you so much for having us. Yeah, really nice to talk.
Yeah, we really appreciate your time, and we will message you again on the. Sorry for the confusion many times in the email, but
no problem.
Thank you very much for your time, and have a good night,
Mark and Jerome. Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
Bye. Photo. Sorry.
Oh yeah, photo.
Yeah.
Yoji.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Lina. It's raining.
Lina,
Drive safe.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, Dara.
You're mute.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
That's finally you're back in your toes.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So yeah.
Congrats.
Sorry for last time that I could not join for those meetings.
Oh no,
with,
no worries.
Lyno and because I just arrived from the quarantine.
Yeah.
So I recover, but now I'm fully good now. I still
That's
haven't, still not that like 100% recover, but it's better now.
Wow, that's good. Okay, thank you. It was the
So
last.
how everyone doing?
It was good.
We are good. Yes.
So
Okay.
thank you for your time again. I mean, for your time this time, because Lyno and Lina is really talking a lot about you also. That you want to really go to the meeting, but suddenly you have to cancel because you have to move to another place for the quarantine. So it's good that we can do it tonight. And
yes,
maybe Gerome or Mayumi, you can explain about this studio visit. This project.
Okay, so thank you so much again for your time tonight.
Yeah,
And
thank
this is
you.
a research project that Lord Nadito, Mark, Gerome, and I are working together for a project called Koganecho Bazaar in Yokohama. So it's actually commissioned research project by an organization in Yokohama. And for this commission work, we proposed that we will interview various collectives who are based in Southeast Asia and also Japan. And we were also interested in how these collectives have gone through different transformations, changes, but still continuing. So our question is, I guess, what's the effect of these collectives by its continuation? How does that affect art ecosystem in the specific locality and beyond? And maybe Gerome can help me articulate these multiple perspectives that we are interested in bringing in.
So we had the idea of interviewing more than one person from the collective, because usually it's just the founder who is speaking about the collective, but the members have very interesting and insightful ideas and perspective about the collective. That's why we also wanted to interview you, because during our interview with Lyno and Lina, they were saying, too bad Dara was not here because he has very good experience with this part.
Yeah, so we also sent you questions. So we will go one by one with that question. And yeah, let's try to have like a casual conversation about your experiences, your perspective about working and being part of Sasa art projects.
Yeah, try to. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I have to split to my hotspot phone.
It's okay. We will.
Yeah, sure. Take your time.
The internet is unstable. I have at the coffee shop. Let me try.
Okay, take your time.
Hope it's better. Okay. So it's called, now I switch to my like how you say, it's like my hotspot. So that is I can talk about this more easily than using the internet. Yeah, let me close everything before I
come back
again. Okay. So thanks for your time as well, because I know that everyone's just gone busy or a lot of things as during all the pandemic, and also all the event is like moved around to be not physical, become online and screening live stream. So maybe I can go to just a question, intro. So I think everyone know me already. So my name is Dara. I'm from Cambodian, like live and in Phnom Penh, capital city of Phnom Penh, in Cambodian. I was a former student 2010 as an architect, like the co-founder quite some time at our former previous practice since 2010 until 2017. So I'm working on a project as a residency coordinator program, and also a part of that is like coordinate of the exchange program and residency between Southeast Asia, and also the workshop. Like for example, right now I'm hosting the program working with Museum Collective and Lonalito doing of the exchange residency program in Southeast Asia. So beside of that, I'm also working at Sasa as the coordinate as the installation exhibition and consultant about the material. And yes, so that is my introduction. Yeah. And I also can go through to the question that is like how is Sasa project is coming from. So I think maybe Lyno already and Lina already mentioned those things out already. So Sasa Object is a Cambodian artisan specialist dedicated to experiment, to critical, to the contemporary art practice. It was founded in 2010 by a group of young collective by called Still Salvatus, that is and operated at the historical architect, modern architect in the white building. In that architect of the building is like kindly of the first of the modern architecture in 1960, and then we was stand by there since 2010 until 2007, until when the building was demolished for the new development. So we was there for several years, like I think 7 years. So that time we was didn't have much of the event and programming. So that time we have only 3, is like a workshop and residencies and an art class as a like the general teaching, art class, photo, and like just sketching and drawing and painting, teaching by 2 of our co-founder like Lemsup and Lina and Kwai Samnan. So and then it's like after when we moved to the new location, after our former space is getting demolished and as the development, so we shift to them to be more stronger engaged with the young artists, and also with we try to expand our, because we was teaching art as well, but we also don't want to let it go. So we want to expand our art graduation, continue to be engaged more, to be more like expand more bigger and wider and critical to the ASEAN, and also like maybe like critical. What I say is not critical to ASEAN, is like kindly to give the student more like visualizing more, become more expand an idea, and that's why we moved to shift this to be more as a contemporary art instead of the education, and we expand this to more, even though it's the same of photography as well. We expand to be more like contemporary art photography documentary class. So and then that time during that is when we was at the white building, we don't have as galleries, and then when we moved to the new space, we also expand this to be more to be like have the galleries and have the exhibition, and then the gallery we focus on locals and also the artists from Southeast Asia as and also Cambodian regions. But the Cambodian is we try, and also the international, we try to focus on a young creative, more like not a senior. Of course, that we try to collaborate with the senior as well, but it's like kindly to open their eyes to more like involved with the art community as a contemporary, to not to stay just on, because as you know that a Cambodian, we don't have much gallery to exhibitions. That's why when the artists want to have a show, as long as if they don't have like ambition, they are not really good at the top of artists as senior, so they don't have the spaces to exhibition. That's why Sasa use this to give this opportunity to a young artist, and also another that they don't have this opportunity to exhibition. That's why we do this, and also after that we ask that, and also another design of education is we have called English for Artists. So English for Artists is we teaching by our co-founder Vuth Lyno, and also our friends from he's Cambodian but he's born in US. So 2 of them they teaching the English like English for Artists, English for artists is currently like the idea is people of the artists don't know how to present their artwork regularly, how to use the word to present, how to like present their work, and also one another thing is how to write the artist statement and artwork statements, their bios, and how to confident on the stage, and also to the how to give like a knowledge their work to spread to by English, because you know like some of the artists they really like just focus on their artworks, but they don't focus on their art practice to present their work. That's why some of the gallery they have the curators and director and writing about the artwork of the like artwork statement of the artist, but the artists just speak by them like talking, and then they have the markable and writing. But that's why Sasa used this to give opportunity to those artists that, especially for the young artists, they don't know how to this kind of stuff. So that is what we providing is more like education and knowledge to the community that is kindly useful to in the future and furthermore, and to expand more wires. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's
And
nice.
yeah.
We're just curious because you said you were the student, right? And
Yes.
before of Sasa. And how did you find out about the Sasa as a space and as a place for you to further study about art and culture? Because I'm sure you're very young that time, and you are maybe high school or already in college, or how do you find out about Sasa and how do you develop the working?
Yeah. So basically, it's kindly is actually I'm not I study at university as financial and banking. So I studied finance and banking at university for 4 years. So at university, that is my bachelor degree. But I'm not study art at university. But during that time, like kindly lucky that Sasa art project was at the stand at the another former spaces is not at the Building, but the previous one, the first one, is at Baitong restaurant. So it's called Baitong restaurants, and then they both have the small room for the Sasa to teach student there. And then when I was there, they teaching every Sunday morning, and then that time I'm go there for each breakfast. And then that's why I saw that team. And then I just asked some Nang, like, oh, can I join? So that is a long journey. And that time it should be around lately 2009, like around, I think around October 2009. And then that time I was joining from that to, so that time some Nang teaching only like paintings, mixed medias, sculptures, like basically drawing, and then until 2012. So he's teaching about 2 years for basically of this. And then after that, we quite for a while, we don't have any education anymore until 2017 that we back to the new our former spaces. But and then 2012 we just working at the workshop, aritos, don't do anything much thing, and all our former students just hang out around the class at the Building. But 2013, that is we got a grant for to do call online to do like a residencies in focus on Southeast Asia's artists. And then this is for 3 years. That time that is my first time to join working as a Sasa project. Actually, I know Sasa since 2009, but I was official working at Sasa 2013. That time I was like as a cleaning and in just assistant of the artist to where they want to buy something. So I just, because they cannot speak English during that time, and then I just using mostly about the body language to bring them to around to to buy some their art materials, and then that is what I'm starting to involve with that. And then so I didn't have any those experience of the finance and banking since I know Sasa project. So I just graduated, but I don't have any experience to work in this because I don't like to work at a banking or like ministry or something. So and then that is, and then the first 2013 I got opportunity for my first residency is at Sasa project, and then that is more give me to understand more about the artist. So that is the story. And then after that, I get along with Sasa to integrate myself to be more working at the administration. And then after that, I start to work as a like technical coordinator, how to say, technical coordinators of installation in some art spaces in Phnom Penh and also at Sasa project. And that time I also working as working at Sasa Basagari. Sasa Basagari is our former brother and sister since before, and now the Sasa Basa is closed. So I was working there for 2.5 years for assist the artist and working at the gallery as the operation manager there for arrangement and shipping artwork. And when there, for example, they have like exhibition in somewhere, so I had to go there for installation of work, like for example Singapore Biennale or something like this. So that is the part of my journey during that. That's why I try to keep going straight forward what I'm focusing on. And then 2017 that I got opportunity to work at, expand my position to increase to be a residency coordinator program, and until now. So that is what I'm involved with Sasa. And the thing is like why Sasa is engaged me to still stay right now until now, because Sasa is kindly a unique species, and also we working as a family. And also what Lyno and our co-founder try to give is give opportunity to the team, not only to work, but they also can suggest and give some advice, suggestion to do what you want to do, and also open everyone to can apply to do any project by themselves, and then just kindly development yourself, and not only yourself, but when you come back, and then maybe you can improve that knowledge to our community and also us Sasa project where you growing on. That's it.
Wow, that's nice. I like what you said is growing. You grow together.
Yeah, and it's also amazing because you studied banking in school. And I'm sure if you have gone to that direction, you might be making more money. No, but now I wonder why you chose this way. Well, it's the hope you saw in the arts.
Actually, a part of the story that is actually I want to study architecture and interior design when I finish high school, but my sisters don't allow me to do this because actually I just let you know it's the whole of my family is finance and banking and working as the at bankers. So that is you know that time in 2009 maybe is the art knowledge is not really wide, and they might be one only your sister and brother work at a bank because it's financial support. But I think if you know about Sasa project team, we only one person, quite some Nang is have been studied at modern painting at Fine Art University. Everyone beside of that Samnang, everyone is not graduate from art school. I'm studying finance and banking. Lina Boy, our co-founder, he studied economic. Lyno is study IT. Lina study management. Vishna study accounting and management. Everything. So everyone is not study. It's not graduate from the University of Fine Art, and also like kindly art management, but we was working as to put ourselves to grow together to what we want to do, and Lyno starting to work with writing and curators. And then after that, Lyno got opportunity to get a fellowship and scholarship in US for a couple of years to study art history and curators, and a part of like Samnang, Lina. So it's like everyone just like a finger cross to each other when we do together. So yeah, but I think it's quite lucky that for Sasa, like now we can count it almost 20 years. I know Sasa almost 12 years, but for the collective, they know each other since 2009, 2007. So that time when we have the collective, or still collective, we will have 6 founders, and so far right now, until now, we have only 3 co-founders still under spaces. Yeah. And yeah.
Great, thank you. So maybe we can ask, we prepared a set of questions that we would like to ask you. So maybe we can start the first question. So how do you position Sasa art projects in a local art scene, large art worlds? Can you reflect on the scene that you're part of?
It's like what I think is what we do is a lot of things already. That like maybe, but the thing is, what I can say is about exchange program and workshop, and also another is a program is engaged with the art world and become more largeable, is exchange residency program. That 2 things is why I choose this program to spoke about how to be largeable and in the art world, because when we do exchange program and workshop, that is we can share those knowledge together between country and another country, to be in Southeast Asia as in the European as well. That is kindly not about only art in the Cambodian, but we also engage with outside of our country. That is, we try to merge together and try to engage with those things. And one more is the exchange residency program. That's why we not only bring all those artists come to Cambodian only, like and Cambodian as well, but we also try to nominate our artists, Cambodian artists, to residency in somewhere in Southeast Asia, for example. We used to nominate to Sapporo and Japan for a couple of years to do its exchange residency program. And another thing is the way that we try to engage it is kindly we try to working close up with our graduation students. So if we have any opportunity, a good opportunity for them, we try to nominate them to do some stuff in another country. Because the way that we do is we not only keep them to stay in Phnom Penh, as if we have any opportunity, we gonna bring them to there. For example, that the program that I do is exchange workshop in Southeast Asia. So I'm co-founder of that program, and then I nominate 10 students from, I think 10 or 8 from Chiang Mai University of Fine Art, and then come to work together with the Cambodian student at the graduation from Sasa Art Project. They were working together about 2 weeks, and then after that I wrote to find another funding to bring them to our Cambodian back to Thailand to work together at that time. So that is what we try to a part of our initiative to expand our knowledge, not only learn from them, but we also need to bring ourselves to put ourselves. And also not only the program, even our team as well. We also go to somewhere around and then try to come back to when we go out, for example, like when Lyno or Nang go to working as the residency researchers in European or in Southeast Asia, we try to expand our Sasa engage and more largeable to the Southeast Asia and also to art spaces around. But when we come back, we also try to take the advantage to improve ourselves and also the community. Even me, that I'm also try to find the funding, and then I go to somewhere around to learn and also get this opportunity to increase to ourselves, to be more expand, more large role and expand like more viable and like more international. That is what we doing. Actually, we have a lot of different programs that we go. For example, we collaboration another aspect is for exhibition, exchange exhibition. Like for example, now we working with the Singapore, so they invite us to do a curate one of the show in Singapore, and they allow us to invite three artists from Cambodia and three artists from Singapore, and exhibition in Singapore, and then we post them on the a women artists only. So 6 of them will be only women. That is that what we try to make more like, because as long as I think in general of the art scene, maybe the women artists don't have much. So that's why we try to, that exhibition, we want to give opportunity to the women artists. And also Sasa Art Project also engage with the, like now we have one of the collective in Cambodian is Koti Sumjot, is only running Cambodian artists, and all of them is women. So they have a collective now. So that is that we are happy that our art scene to more large in the art world, and then they can have another I would say is not only us for the art collective in Cambodian. So that is we are happy that have another collective to grow around as well. Yeah. And also one more thing that is related to our is like reflection to the art scene and in the a part of us, that is like kindly is do more than what we expect and make a career plan and make it more like a confidence development collective mentally. Why I say the collective development collective mentally, because as working as a collective, we have to be careful of the mentally, because we work in different brand, different stylists, different kind of perspective. That is a collective mental is very important for the collective. That is that when I go to talk what is our collective in Taiwan, and then I just use this kind of development collective mental, and then we have the book to talk about this that I try to write, and also like always keeping positive attitude to the team. That is when we do this, is kindly not only for us, but it's the another collective and also the art scene as well, that to can flexible to from us our experience. Yeah.
So the next question is, how does Sasa help art to function?
Okay, so let me thinking how to so it's like what we do is we try to upgrade our education, and not only this thing out, and then we also try to upgrade in our education, and also like confidence from the our ambitions, because when we don't have confidence our ambition, so how we can function ourselves as the initiative to have art functions, because that is when we working as a community. So that is when we confident our ambition, and then after that we can expand this knowledge to work together as our experience. And one more is like kindly we not only see only right now what we are doing, we also have our journey in next almost, like we already plan what is we gonna do in next 5 more years. So we planning to think about a property. The way that the property is kindly to the community, that is we think about we want to the property, maybe we want to invest to the property, and then that property can shift ourselves to be more how to say sustainable, not only for us but it's for the for our community. And the thing is we try to upgrade ourselves more, not only institute but more like kindly wider institute to teach about the stable about the art like knowledge and institute. And one more is like kindly we try to thinking to upgrade our operation team to more international. Like for example, when we have the in the Biennale or Singapore Biennale or Documenta, so that is what we plan. We gonna nominate our team. Our team go to there to grab some those knowledge and expand ourselves. And then one more is we think about is that is our up to our mind or that we gonna thinking to upgrade our gallery to be more another called contemporary art gallery in Phnom Penh, but it's we shift to another places. But Sasa art is still the same, but we thinking to expand another places called contemporary art gallery in Phnom Penh. So that is our like what is art function that we gonna make it more think about not only us and but it's also our function as well.
Yeah. And you mentioned about acquiring a property, and you still think it's in Phnom Penh in the city, like it's for to be sustainable. The city is still a place for you. I mean, thinking of maybe the future also.
The thing that we about the property is the first step, because the thinking to buy a property in outside from the Phnom Penh, because we could not do this budget. If we have this budget, we could not buy this land in the capital city of Phnom Penh. But we gonna invest to the and then we gonna expand to buy a property further a little bit, and then maybe we gonna sell it to buy a suitable spaces in the city. The way that we gonna need, because we want to be more wider, and then also like the state sustainable, because rental in Phnom Penh is quite expensive right now. Like I think it's about 1,000 for us to spend every month now. So so that is a lot for us. So that is what we do is we want to stay stable, and also for ourselves, and also we want to our Sasa team more like increasable. And also one another part is we not only work only with our member now, we try to give opportunity to the intern, and then we give the new intern to do some stuff to do, and then that intern can be increased do their job to work with us for the team. That is like what our art functions. And then it's like what we as the that is kindly what we plan. So we that is what we are planning, and then even though like now we still collaboration with the arts, not only in the outside, but also we also collaboration with the art spaces in Phnom Penh as well. So now we do collaboration with called Phnom Penh, the factory in Phnom Penh. So we curate one of the show, the solo exhibition by Cambodian artists from Battambang. It will be show next year, early next year. So we not only, because like when we have the small spaces and we have like a more invasion more bigger, and then how we can exhibition every time, in because exhibition maybe only two to four exhibition per year for us can run. So only like collective and artists. So that is when we expand to be collaboration with another species, so that another artist can have this opportunity, can exhibition more like not only Sasa that can exhibition, and also not on so and not we do, and also what is Sasa do is about the gallery is we not represent any artist, and we just only saw who is gonna have this opportunity and good opportunity and be mergeable to our program. We can invite them to join, because when you represent the artist, you will be have the limit as well. But we're not so sure, maybe in the future, and we have find some it's a new program or something that about our contemporary art gallery. Maybe we have several artists for represent, but we also still invited to the artists as well to join our program.
Can I ask
And
you
sure.
Yeah.
Who is the main audience to the exhibitions that you curate?
Our, I think is before of a pandemic. I think is we also have several tourists, and also several of the our friend collectors. But now they might be could come and general after right now is more be careful of the travel. So but in general right now we more focus on not focus on, but most likely is our local art communities and also our students. And that even we can count how many artists that we can count sometimes, because we are like quite small. So the community is quite small as long as we have the event. But I think they also, for us, it's more like a visual thing and documentary, like contemporary. But they also kindly have another program with like film screening as well, and they also have the French Institute, but they more slightly they focus with French and Cambodian related the program with French styles, and they have the focus only photo and videos, but more on the like landscape and documentary. So that also what we do. But we also do kindly train of the festival, and also that we collaboration in Southeast Asia and also in local. So when we do this the festival in Phnom Penh, like last time we do is Kourn festival, is focusing on architectural and in 1960s. So that is we have more than 10 venues in Phnom Penh for 2 weeks to 3 weeks that time. So that is all the venue and everything is most likely working as a like architectural, and the work is like sculpture, but it's architect and video thinking about the architect interior. So it's like about 1960 building. So that is we not only doing it at our in the gallery or at the hall, like but we also that the festival we also do it on the street as well, at the public spaces, and also performance at the public spaces. So yeah. And
Wow.
yeah, and also is our co-founder is like more manner of our like group learning. So when it's manner group learning is like change to communication skill and cultural awareness and thinking about the skill and so much more. That is working as a group, also allowing a student providing checks and balance to work with us on the spot. So when it's make more balance and sport is like when we do something, we always not only just invite, we also thinking about how is they are also can learn from our program as well. So beside of that, our program we also doing as like each exhibition and program we also try to invite lectures, uh, um, Cambodian lectures, and then they can talk and related to. We also collaboration with Fine Art University. We also try to have the workshop go to University of Fine Art, and also we have a talk there. That is why we try to make it more expand more because I think every University of Fine Art that the student they might be don't feel to go to the gallery. That's why we go there directly to university, and then we talk our program. And even though when we have um, yeah, even about the education, we also not only post by poster or anything. We also go to university, architecture university, and also interior design university. So that is and also fashion design. So our audience and our thing is not only art, is but also fashion design, also anything that they also can come to join, and also out. And I think most of our students is architectures, interior design, and fashions that they come to apply because they I think they might be curious about what is a contemporary art mean.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And because you, as far as I remember, the Cambodia has one Royal Fine Art School, right? And I think it's focused on tradition. Is it like that? Like traditional art and contemporary Sasa is kind of filling that gap. Like you are there not as a formal school, but an informal school to learn together.
Yeah, I think I think in Cambodian is only Sasa teaching about contemporary art. Beside of I think in general in South Asia, when at art university they might be not allowed to the student to break the rule when the teachers to tell you to do something. But for Cambodian University of Fine Art, they just have a teaching about sculptures, like modern paintings, but like traditional painting, but they not allow you to as a critic as what you can do anything. But beside of that, after you graduate, maybe when you break it, you become more like find out your own styles to like to be yourself. And that is like the thing is they told you just like for example like skating and do some like drawing like for example like you saw A, you have to draw A, something like this. So that is but University of Fine Art they also teaching about dancing, traditional dance, music, and also architecture, interior design. I think most of the students at University of Fine Art, almost I think 60%, 50% they study interior design and architect because they might be easy to find a job in after then they graduate.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, and beside of that, Sasa is kindly in the middle part of them and another art community that we try to critique something that what is about the contemporary art in Phnom Penh. That's why we are like just kindly like to do this only ourselves.
Wow.
If you go to the fine art university, when we talk about the contemporary and doing stuff, they might be not really like it sometimes.
Really? So, what do you think is the key to continue Sasa? Because you said also it's hard, like many challenges for you to run the space, the initiative, and also maybe the situation of the context of the city and the different members of Sasa. What is the key to continue Sasa for the next more 10 more years? So,
And also, since the beginning, what was the fuel, for the collectives to continue?
I think is our key is not really much thing, but only one word is ambitions and trust yourself and just to how we say it, like because like that the key is like because we have a lot of things to do, but one is maybe confident yourself and to our ambitions, and what is called when you do something you have make it clear and to community and trust you what you do, and one more is the community that most of us is focused on the community and to the art scene in Southeast Asia. That's it. So yeah.
And how do you think you can get the trust of the community? So like it's hard, no? To
yeah,
something like what's your strategy? Yeah.
That is quite problem for us is sometimes we try to work a lot, sometimes we try to work this, and for example we try to give opportunity to the students study this and this, like, oh, you should do this, you should do this, but sometimes when you force them too much, they're gonna lose something, and that is our problem. But what we solve that problem is we gonna try to have to learn ourselves from those experience to engage with the community, and when the community come, what is they learn back from us, that is what they make them to trust what we are doing. For example, when we put ourselves as a non-profit, and then when we move from the white building to come to another spaces and we have the gallery, that also several friends, that also some artists, they also critique us because it's, for example, we work as a community and about the non-profit, and then when we put non-profit and then when we do the exhibition and a lot of things coming and also, but what we respond them back is make it sustainable, not for us, but it's sustainable to the art community. When we not sustainable, how the art community, that how they can know more and about us, what we're doing. Yeah.
Thank you. It's really nice. It's the sustainability keeps the trust and community going.
And the way that we why we thinking is sustainable for us is important because we always plan every each years what we're gonna do, and then right now even what we don't have access at our bank account, but we just try to do something that is have opportunity back to uh, for next years. For example, that we got the money for the exhibition, but we also try to keep several budgets to the exhibition that from the out they give us to use this. Not, for example, like when they give like 10,000, we when we try to do is not to use it everything 10,000. Maybe we can keep some to do another program with the community, and then that is can propose this to do another thing out. And then what we do is when we start the line, like for example the exchange residency, exchange workshop, and then after that when we do this, we gonna continue this furthermore, not only just one time and finish. So that is we try to continue the program that we run to more buyers. That's it. And I think is the sustainable is very sadness for us, but also lucky for us that we still stay until now. That is kindly unique that we still can stable now. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. Jerome, you want to?
I'm also curious because you are very dedicated with your work with Sasa. Even though you had COVID, you were still working and you still wanted to go to the meeting. So I'm curious what drives you to be that dedicated?
The thing is, I can tell you is actually during of my quarantine at at the hospital. I work for project during my quarantine at the hospital, and but what is forced me, what is encouraged me to this because I have to be strong, and I have to be like what I do is more inspiring from those experience to manage my time, to deal myself to be more like confident and arrange our management time. And then the thing is what I try to not only, of course when you work at the hospital, you might be your work is gonna be a little bit lower because it's difficult time and internet and where you gonna do. But I think what it shifts me to is we have to do it. So I have to confident myself that I have to, for myself, for Sasa, and for the community. So and then I still do the a program with Philippines, and still like that is like if I don't do, and then it's gonna be stuck something. So and then that is motivation me to not stop. And what I learned from during of the when I was at the hospital is make myself more comfortable, manage, and like thinking the hospital as my new experimental workplaces. That's what I'm put myself on. I didn't
that's it's like it's also the like this time is also time to pause and reflect like what is important to do. So for you the important thing is to do it, right? Like because people needs you and the community needs you. So And I think we will go to the last question, which is also connected to all of how to continue. So how do you imagine the future of Sasa? And of course, you mentioned about wanting to have a property and for place for community to feel that it's owned by everyone. So, but what else do you imagine for Sasa in the next few years?
I'm talking for myself. For myself, is what my envision myself is. I want to have like a new collaboration within our collaboration project is more viable and more like bigger and global. Because why I'm talking about this, because that is more like can share those experience to the community, and also that is kindly knowledgeable not only for us but it's on another hand to the side of Cambodian, because that is what I'm doing now. I'm starting to writing my new proposal that I'm gonna brought our student go to Philippines. So that is I'm gonna work with. So I already
Please come.
another is yeah. So right now I'm starting to propose my program and to brought some list of experience, and then I gonna, because I thought this program is very useful to the to the community. But I know that exhibition is also knowledgeable, but it's like a part of exhibition, so it's like the final work or so. But when the artist already goes through the exhibition, have the exhibition and create a work, so as a solo exhibition is already like kindly they are like kind of seen me already. So when I do this exchange program as to the student or a young creative and just starting to grow, so that is what is my key point, upgrade level of them. And now I'm writing proposal to ACA. ACA like the program of the same of museum collective and Sophia got it. So now I'm doing this to bring our artists, and also they might, now I wrote them back. Also I'm trying to bring Philippine artists back to Cambodian as well. So that is what my ambition
That's
for
nice.
next year. So yeah.
Hopefully, yes.
And actually, yeah, hopefully is finger crossed that I got it. So and another hand is I gonna go to myself is I gonna continue my study English to more economic writing. So next year I'm gonna take new class for 1 year and a half for writing and like about how to write about a program or something like this. So that is my plan. That why I learning this, because that is might be can help to Sasa to do something proposal, collecting information, and also this is part of job, because it's working as a residency coordinator. You have to writing and consultant, working and translator as well. So so that is what is my yeah. So yeah, and also another thing is I'm also have to be continue my another language, because I have 2 more years to finish my study Thai. So that is my another thing out. Yeah.
You mean Thai language?
So that's it. Yeah, because I'm working with Thai University as and also like sometimes I consultant with a student at University of Multiple Disciplinary Art. Last time I go to University of Multiple Disciplinary Art for 3 months to do as a consultant like ideas. Yeah.
Wow. Thank
So
you.
what I learned to do. So I have to thinking what is benefit back to the community. And I don't know why I always say community is really when I was interviewed from Taiwan, it's like you spoke a lot of community. What is community to your mind? And then like I could not answer this question. And then like I don't know how to answer. It's like a community to myself, but the community to myself is the people surround me, and it's a community. That's
yeah. And I think we don't really connect ourselves as community, but we maybe as community also because we shared some kind of values. So I think like maybe we see Sasa as part of Load na Dito community because we kind of gather, we kind of share ideas, but it's kind of like informal communities maybe.
Yeah.
So in line of this, thank you very much, Dara, for your time. And we learn a lot from you.
Thank you.
And we will have, this is just the initial meeting because we will have the next meeting, round table. Maybe Gerome can.
On the November 25th.